What's up, banana bunch? Bunch? Bunch?
Welcome to the Junglejims podcast. Everyone's laughing. It's a good start to the show. Probably because I've had to do this twice. What's up, Banana Bunch? Welcome to the Junglejims podcast. You know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the Junglejims podcast. I'm your host, Mark. I know you can see Jaina sitting to my side here. She's in co-host duty this week. Let's get some of the clerical stuff out of the way first. First and foremost, I need you aggressively to download the Junglejims app. We get weekly savings in there. Can you tell I've already done this once today and then messed it up? Weekly savings in there. You can view the ad in advance. There's a store map. You can find items. There's like an item locator, so you can find where items that you're looking for are in the store. There's a barcode scanner. You wanted to know how much something costs? Well, you can just pull it right up on your phone and scan the item, and it'll tell you right then and there, and it works. Dare I say surprisingly well. I feel like no apps ever work as well as they're supposed to. That one feature worked aggressively well, and I'm very proud of everybody involved in it. There are app exclusive savings that show up on there. So every week we have new sales and items that are exclusive to Junglejims app users. You can also find the 5 most recent episodes of the Junglejims podcast on there, which is beneficial to me. You can see the weekly ad, and you can see the weekly ad early. So you can see next week's ad as early as Thursday, so you can plan ahead. You kind of know what's going on sale. Looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to the main focus of this week's episode. We're learning all about Vietnamese coffee today, thanks to Nguyen Coffee. They brought in their line of RTD, that's ready-to-drink coffee drinks into the store, and obviously you all like them so much that they've actually already sold out once since they've gotten in here, which is really cool, and I think you're going to love it. They've got 3 flavors. It's so great. I'll let Sahra tell you all about that later in her interview, but first, I'm doing something I've been pitching for a while, which is why you see Jaina here, because I want to find the best apple cider in the store. This is the quest for the best, and I'm going to determine if we have the greatest apple cider on the planet, or if my little secret warrior here from where I grew up is really the best, or if I'm just blinded by nostalgia and bias. So anyway, with me this week is Jaina. Jaina, introduce yourself.
I'm Jaina.
What do you do here, Jaina?
I'm the deli manager. Duchess of Dill, as Mark dubbed me so long ago.
Oh, I see. Yes. I thought I stole the nickname from you to give to you.
You literally made
That's so cool.
You started that. Thank you.
I'll know that I have it in kind of writing. Welcome back, Jaina. I always love having you on here.
Thanks.
Excited to try these with you.
Yeah, me too.
Coming up next, then, Ray, do the same for me, buddy. Welcome to the show.
Hello, I am Ray, and I work customer service.
I love it. Is this your Ray SMR?
Oh, good Lord.
We've been giving Ray nicknames all year, none of which I can repeat.
We don't talk about them on the show. Do you want this to get monetized?
Your name fits into so many other things.
It really does.
We'll stick with Ray Gun,
including
Ray
ciders.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's so good. How long have you worked at Junglejims?
As of this week, it'll be 6 years.
Congratulations, buddy.
Awesome.
Yeah, hey, that's awesome.
6 years of going ciders.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, thanks for playing, Ray. I'm glad you're here. I know you love cider, so that's why I had to have you here. And this is a non-employee, but a fan of the show and somebody who's very nice to me. Belinda, welcome to the show.
Well, may not be an employee, but should be, you know?
You've threatened to clean the studio plenty of times, so I'm I'm in.
You know, free intern. Have no interest in a podcast, but this one. So that's what I'm saying. Free work.
Well, we found out that, you and your mom are here pretty frequently, so we bonded over that. You were one of my favorite people because you really, truly engage with what we make here.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can talk to you.
Some call that a stalker, but you can call it whatever you want to.
It's fine. It hasn't gotten weird yet. None of the food you've brought me is poisoned. My dog is fine. I've not had any threats on me or anyone I love from you that I'm aware of.
She has threatened to clean your office, so I would keep her away from that part.
It feels threatening.
I just haven't gotten the right price for your address yet. So as soon as I get that, I'm selling it.
It's going to be terrible if it does turn out that any of the things you've said were true. And then I'm like, oh, God, that's so crazy. She does know where I live.
Yeah,
also, thank you for the chicken and dumplings.
She warned me, and I just didn't take it seriously.
Oh, no, all kidding aside, Belinda, you and your mom are awesome. Thank you for always being so sweet. And thanks for being big Junglejims fans, shoppers, all that good stuff. All right, folks, so here's the deal today. So we've each got 4 cups. And right now, you can probably see 3 options here. I brought in 3 of the ciders that we bring in. I'm going to go down the line this way. way. I also have some wheat thins. Actually, you know what? While I'm doing
Palate
that,
cleanser?
yes, I want a palate cleanser. After doing I hosted a pickle sampling thing. I was like, the palate cleanser really is important, especially if we're going to be trying similar things. So I'm going through 3 that we've got here. We've got one at the far side. I think we'll try this one first. This is Beiersdorfer. They are from Indiana. It says they claim to be Indiana's finest cider. I feel like every state.
It's adorable.
Yeah, it is. It's cute. It was
so
also
cute.
little. We're budget friendly today.
That's how much he's been working out that 1 gallon jug looks so
Nice.
small.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, look how big I am.
The force perspective is insane here. Let me tell you.
Gains.
Next, we'll do the Fowler Farms apple cider. And then lastly, this is Burnham Orchards, which is in Ohio. And then I brought, this one is near and dear to
special.
me and the fam. Yeah, so this is from near where I grew up. This is from, I laugh every time because on the back of it, it just says ingredients. Apples. And it's like apples in bold letters. It's like someone funny works there. They have a mark at Delicious Orchards, too, that makes like TikToks and other short form content. So I was like, that's kind of cool. But anyway, they are in the country food market out there in Colt's Neck, New Jersey, pressed. I have to ship this. This is so good that I literally ship these 4 at a time to my house. I'm not joking. I take this stuff seriously. So,
And they're from a place called a Colt.
Colt's Neck, yes. It's like a cute, like there's a lot of
So
farmland, there's
again,
horses and stuff.
non-clear bottle from a place they called Colt.
Right, this is just my pea jug that I've been using all summer, and I'm just tricking my friends into trying it today.
Well, it's got the color.
It is. It's solid white. All right, well, now that we've lost the audience, let's go Beiersdorfer first here. So the things I'd love you all to keep in mind, a few things, clarity maybe. Cider I don't think should be too clear. No. But I would say, things like sweetness, overall taste. And I'm just going to have you pick these on a scale of 1 to 10. And then once we've declared a winner here, I'll pour the 4th one as well as the 3rd, whatever one, so we can try it again. So are we in?
Oh, you're going to put that one against the top of those 3?
Yeah, because I want to see. I want to see.
That confident.
I am that confident. I know how good it tastes.
Yeah, you told
Cheers,
me.
everyone.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Off to a pretty good start.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Say it.
It's bland.
I like a little more zing in my cider.
I like I like a little sweet cinnamon to mine.
Okay.
I feel like you're eating like apple pie almost when you have a cider for me.
Okay.
And to me, this just tastes like a good old Granny Smith that was juiced and condensed into a little cup.
See, I kind of like that a little bit, but I also do agree that it's a little bland. What are you feeling?
I get confused apple. Like it wants to be apple, and it really, really wants to be apple, but it's like I don't have it in me.
I agree with that. I feel like it's just not aggressive in general.
No,
How
it's
are you
not.
feeling?
Yeah, like I said, I like a little more zing in my cider, and I don't get any of that zing on the back end.
No
So,
zing. But okay,
yeah, no
so what would you all give this?
This tastes like glorified apple juice more
Yeah.
than
Yeah,
anything.
like
It doesn't-
fortified apple juice. Yeah,
fortified.
Yeah.
All right, well, off to a pretty good start. If you all want to take a wheat thin
Here,
while
take
we're
a wheat,
while we're
yes.
talking about this, Ray, what would you give this out of 10? Say it.
I go 5.
Okay.
Not the hardest in the world, but not the softest.
Oh, I mean, I sound harsh now. I was gonna give it like a 3 or a 4.
Do it. It's
I
okay.
was
Be
not-
harsh.
I was not a fan of it.
It's gonna be funny if you're all like 1 when we get to the delicious orchards one.
We all met together secretly before we did that. Like, let's
Yes.
do it correctly.
I'm
So,
gonna go,
yes,
I'm gonna
of
go
course.
5 as well.
Okay,
Right
5.
in the
So
middle.
we got
Yeah.
5, and a 3.
Did you
Cool.
shake this?
Yes, I thought so, but shake it just in case.
Okay.
But I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do like a mega.
'Cause
cup,
maybe I didn't.
I'm
Now-
gonna save just a little bit from each one and dump them all together.
Oh, that
That's a
sounds
power
good.
move.
Yeah,
This one, the color looks way different.
Yeah, it does.
it looks more like amber.
This is amber is the color of its energy.
Yeah, it sure is.
It's an autumn.
It is a little bit darker. It's not as clear.
All right. I like this one.
That
better
is
already.
way more of what I expected and what I wanted.
Yep.
It's sour on the back end. It's got that little zing
That's
that I
so
want.
much better.
So much better.
Fowler
Yeah.
Farms. Where are they from? Let me see. They look like
Heaven.
a big
They're from
conglomerate.
heaven.
They're from New York. You mean the adjacent state? Weird. It's almost like maybe I'll win.
Again, it's
I'll win, like I have
it's got
some
the
stake
zing
in
like
this
you
company.
talked about.
Yep.
It's got that sweet there.
Yep.
And you
A
can
little bit
actually
of pucker.
taste the apple they're
Yeah.
using. You're not just going like, oh, so you're just making apple juice a little bit of hint of something. This
Yeah.
has actually got something with it.
How you feeling, Belinda?
It definitely has more apple flavor to it.
Okay.
And I think the packaging is like, let's put apples on there so they think there's more apples in it.
So it could have tricked us a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other
but I
company
think
was
it has
scared.
really good flavor
It does.
to it. And I appreciate that.
It doesn't
pretty-
taste like water.
Yeah.
It's not watery.
You can taste like the red delicious apple in it. Like you can actually physically taste the apple in it.
I like that one.
I really like that.
Yeah,
I
that
feel
was
good
good.
about that.
That was
Give
really
me
good.
your number scores, Jana. What you got number wise on that?
I'm
one
going
out of
like an 8 on that
10?
one.
Okay. How you feel, Ray?
I go. We do 0.5s.
You can do 0.5s,
I
but
go
I
like
might not repeat it.
I go like a 7.5.
7.5. Okay. How you feeling,
It
Belinda?
raised.
I'm gonna go with the 6 on that one.
I think I'm with you on the 6. I'm also trying to. I'm trying to kind of sandbag it a little bit just in case.
What would put it over the edge to give you like a high score? What are you looking for?
I'll let you answer first, just in case I have a floater in my sip.
I'm looking for like a strong apple forward flavor that has like also an apple aftertaste. Because I feel like with apple cider you can get some kind of funky aftertaste.
You can, yeah.
So
Okay.
Exhibit A, the first one we had a really
Yes.
bad aftertaste when after it got done.
Just
I
a
felt like
nice,
it had
even
no
apple
aftertaste.
flavor.
It had
I felt
no
like it was just
aftertaste to
like
me.
it went
Yeah,
away.
it had
I was like,
zero.
oh, and now the thing is, I should be clear. Let me pass this around. Does everybody have a wheat thin to cleanse?
Oh.
I'll take a
Oh,
thin
yes, I need
wheat.
another thin
Maybe
of
grab a
wheat.
couple.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Oh.
It's fine. Well, I'll pass it around. It'll make it around. I agree with that, though. I think that the first one did not have much of a strong place. But what I was starting to say was that obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I had to. Me and my 10-year-old just say that all day long to each
He
other.
actually has a apple cider like connoisseur degree.
Yeah.
So he's
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
my APHD. My apple doctorate. Okay, so last up, by the way, this is the Burnham Orchards. This is from somewhere north in Ohio. Color on this one, I like this color too. I think it's similar to the second one. Can I have the lid to the second one just so it doesn't, just in case? I think it's actually the screw-on one. Thank you. And then, all right, cool. I'm gonna wheat then, but go ahead and try.
What do you think? What are you thinking?
This one.
And I'll tell you what I'm thinking.
This has got a really bad aftertaste.
It's got a bad aftertaste.
Got a bad aftertaste to
What
me.
are you getting on the aftertaste?
Fake apple pie. I'm getting like a generic fake apple pie from that. I don't taste apple at
I think
all.
it has a really nice apple like
It seems
front to end.
I am weirdly, let me look at this. It just says assorted whole apples. I am oddly getting a hint of cinnamon
I
on
am
the
too.
back end.
I am too. I'm getting
Which-
cinnamon and sweet. This one's way sweeter than the last one we just tried.
That's
the other one was more
interesting.
sour, I feel.
This one tastes like a McDonald's apple pie.
I was going to say the same exact thing.
It tastes exactly like a McDonald's apple pie.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I do get cinnamon.
I
The
get a hint of
cinnamon's
cinnamon.
there.
Do you get any of the cinnamon?
I don't.
Okay.
Weird.
That's why there's 4 of us.
And it says that all that's in here is the apples, and they say they've added potassium sorbate to preserve freshness.
That's
It's
code
the
name for
assorted
cinnamon.
apples that's doing
That's
it.
that. That's
yeah.
it,
Yeah.
So maybe there's just some. I'm torn now. All right. Well, what's our number on this one? And then you can shift your numbers from earlier in case you feel like it should get ranked differently.
So I gave the first one a 5.
Mm-hmm.
After having this one, I would flip. I would give this one the 5, and I would give the one with the Burnham we just had. I give that an 8.
You'd give the Burnham an 8.
Yeah.
You'd give the
Oh.
first one a 5.
Yeah.
And then what was your review on this one?
7.5.
Okay.
So you like that one? This one
So
better?
these are your
Yes.
top 2. Okay.
Oh.
All right. So,
Okay.
yeah, Belinda, how about you? And did you give any other comments on the last drink? I think I was too busy just listening to everybody.
I don't think so. But I think I would give this one an 8. I think it had a good like apple flavor throughout, and it was very not apple juicy, which I liked.
I agree with that too. I am a little torn. Did you give your numbers?
No, I'm going to give that one. I gave the middle one an 8. I really like that one. This one I'm going to give a 7.
Okay.
I didn't dislike it, but I like a tart apple cider. Like this is more sweet cinnamon to me. It's still good, but
Yeah.
like
That's
7.
that's the vibe I like. Like
Yeah.
I don't like too tart. A little bit of cinnamon there, as I think adds a little bit. It tastes like a McDonald's apple pie. It really hits over a little for me because I love those. So it's like drinking an apple pie, and that's what I like during the holidays. Like getting close to Thanksgiving, that's what I would drink.
Okay.
Okay. So first off, I think we can just pull this one out, right? That was nobody's favorite.
It's just
no.
bland. Like it has nothing
mass,
to it.
I bet it's a little more mass produced. That's my guess. I didn't hate it, but it was fine. It was totally fine. It was there. Now out of these two, all right. Well, let's do it this way. Give me is this your number one?
That's my number one.
That's your number one,
Yeah.
Belinda? Is that your number one?
I would go with Burnham.
I'm going Fowler.
You're going Fowler.
Oh,
I'm pretty torn.
yeah. Well, do you like sweet or do you like tart? I think that's the main
Take us
difference
through your
between the
process.
two.
What you
I
thinking?
think, you know what I think it is? I think I'm a little annoyed by this one because I don't think it should taste like cinnamon at all.
Agreed.
I'm like, especially when it says the only ingredients in there are apples, which don't ever taste like cinnamon. They just don't.
Right.
So I feel a little betrayed right now.
Yeah.
So I think my vote would be Fowler, which just puts us
And we're tied.
half and half. Anybody got a coin?
No? I got a wheat thin.
I'd say we could flip a wheat thin, but they're the same on both sides.
No, the salt on one and plain on the other.
Well, is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is yours? Okay. Well, flip it. We'll call it in the air.
All right, you ready?
Ray call. Or actually,
you
Belinda,
flip it, you flip
no,
it.
Belinda's the guest. She's the real guest.
Okay.
Belinda, you call it in the air. What
right, you
side
ready?
is heads? Salt?
Heads will be salt.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna go with salt.
Oh, I'm a bad flipper. I mean,
Okay,
that was
hold
good.
on.
I just can't catch it. You're going salt?
That's salt.
It's salt.
Okay, so that means that our winner is
the
Burnham.
Burnham, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Fowler. Now, I would love you all here. Send this one around, and then I'll send the Delicious Orchards one around. So we're going to put a little cup of that in there. Make sure you got at least another wheat thin or so.
Okay.
This is the kind of fun stuff we should always be doing on the show. So this one just says apples, and I feel really confident about this one, but I'll be curious as to what your all tastes are like on it. So I would say, eat another wheat thin if you haven't. Clear those mouths, and then I'll pour one of these. Oh, baby, I'm so excited.
He poured himself a nice big glass of that.
Whoa.
One, too. He was like, I'm ready.
I've been pouring them pretty heavy, to be honest with you.
is-
I love apple
That
cider.
is dark. That is
Yes.
a dark
Yeah, it
cider.
is. Okay.
Uh-oh. All right, I got the lid for that one, and then got that lid too. Thank you.
It smells good.
I like how they both have the same style of lid too.
Yes, there's something to it, right? Fowler was our last one we tried, right? Or not Fowler, the
No,
Burnham.
Burnham. Yeah.
All right, so when you look at them side by side,
Ooh,
The-
I love this. And you got the
the-
good light too, right?
Bur-
Walk us through it.
the Burnham is a little clearer. Yours is definitely darker. Also, there are a lot more bubbles in yours, which probably means like there's more air going through there, so the apple actually comes a little bit stronger.
That could be.
Is there any cinnamon in yours at all? that
No,
you know
this is
of?
just it's like
Just straight
just
apple?
straight apple.
Wait.
Ooh, that's a nice little. I got a little tartness on yours.
Mark, you weren't lying.
I
to
know.
me.
And I was just like,
Man.
I'm waiting for this just to see. And then I was slyly sipping it off camera to make sure, because I had to thaw it. I wanted to make sure it didn't sit in my fridge too long, but that goes pretty hard, right?
Okay.
They're very two different. It's like,
Two different drinks.
yeah, like one is, yours is like, I think more tart, and
Mm-hmm.
the Burnham's
Yeah.
is more sweet.
Yeah. So this is tart, but not as tart as the Fowler. The Fowler was really, I know it's out of the running, but
No, it's fine.
It was
Sorry,
more
Fowler.
tart on the back end. This is tart at the beginning, and then it just kind of gets real smooth.
Mellows out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like the tart.
It really, to me, always the thing I like about it is that it tastes dissimilar enough from apple juice to be its own product.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
It tastes like apples to me. I like the
Oh, yeah.
cloudiness a little bit. It just feels a little richer. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Ray. Lay it on.
I have thoughts.
Oh,
I have thoughts.
be honest. Yeah,
Okay.
hit me, Ray.
So, if these two were mixed together, I think I would like it a lot better.
Do it.
However,
Wow.
Yeah.
I think yours is too tart forward. I think
Okay.
I think it relies too much on the apple part of being a cider. There has to be
Interesting. Okay.
there has to be more with the cider than just being
The sweet?
apple, and that was my biggest issue with the first one.
Okay.
Is that there was no extra to it, like it was just being apple juice. And where this does not taste like your generic apple juice, I
Keep smelling it too. I'm like, these were early this year purchases.
you can tell what they did with this. And so I think if you mix a little bit of tart,
Both. Okay. And a
With-
little of the sweet.
a little bit of
I'll do it.
sweet,
Okay, let's try it. We can mix drinks in here.
that's a good combo. I feel like the sweet and tart go really well together. The apples mix really well.
Oh yeah.
I see what you're going for. I think it's funny because as somebody who sits around drinking sweet shit all the time, I think the appeal to me is that.
Is how
but
tart.
I see what you mean about the similarity between these two, even though I think this tastes more like apples to me still.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. It's just that there's
No.
nothing really afterwards. And so
I mean, don't feel like you're wrong. I'm just,
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. What were your thoughts, Belinda?
I honestly, I liked yours better.
You like mine better?
I do like a sweet one, but the tartness was just so refreshing. It was like when you
Yeah.
drink a Coke and you go, like that was my reaction when I drank
It's
yours.
very good.
That's how I
It's very
felt
good.
too. And you know, I mean, I'm just doing this just to single out Ray. This is secretly a Ray. This is what do they call it? An
when I think
intervention.
of yours, I think of a hard cider.
Interesting.
I think beer when I think yours.
Okay.
When
I think they both have good like applications.
pour
Like
me
if
a little
I'm
bit
doing
more.
like
I like just smelling it.
like if
by the
I'm
way.
doing a hot apple cider with
enough?
like cinnamon and things like that, the Burnham
I
would
see
be
what you're
so
doing.
good for that.
They're the two.
Yeah. The Burnham, you think would be so good for that?
Yeah, for like a cinnamon hot apple cider
I
kind
feel,
of thing.
I feel like this, to me, this one hit more of an apple juice note, like for real apple juice. Like I felt like more apple juice with that, which is why I'm like, did they put cinnamon in this to cover that?
Tastes like
I
it.
taste
It
the
really
cinnamon in there.
does.
Jane is getting wild here.
I want
and
to
I'm gonna
compare
follow
these two
suit.
because they're the
I mean,
tart
I dumped
ones.
all 4 into 1 cup.
Oh, so wait, well, we're
yeah,
pouring
yeah.
separate cups.
Okay.
Talk to me about you've got the
Yeah, I'm gonna
King's
try that
cup.
too.
Yeah. So I took a little bit from each
Can I have
tasting
that
and
back?
just put them all into one.
Oh, this one?
No. Never mind. I thought you poured it for me. Never mind.
No, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying. No, I'm not polite, Jane.
He's
And now
like,
it's
no,
on camera.
pour it your own way.
Now, I have 2 actions:
Sorry, I
either
apologize.
intense remorse because I don't want to seem rude, or being mean to you on camera.
So this is
Pour
I've
your
been-
own
I've been mean
drink.
to
So
you
this is
before, too.
Fowler again.
Now Fowler has a taste of celery to me,
Okay.
I hate celery.
And this
I know,
is-
me too.
This is yours.
but I didn't think that way the first time. So I,
I
know
got a
it's
little
just
bit of like a dirt taste.
I think that's the celery thing. I'm
Yours
talking
is
about.
better between the two of them.
Okay.
Yours is better than Fowler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it definitely. It is. Yes,
It's
it is.
110% better than Fowler. Fowler is just too heavy. Like there's not enough flavor with it. It just tastes.
It's just like
appley.
sugar juice. Yeah. It's like more like what I
Yeah.
expected.
Yeah, I agree.
It has good upfront flavor, but then it gets to like the back and it's like, did I just shove dirt in my mouth?
Yeah. And I mean,
I can taste the leaf.
yeah. Used within 10 days after thawed. Cool. We made it.
Extra.
I'm glad. I can't believe I didn't see that on the side of it. This is one that I would go
That's
to war
really
over. It, though.
good. That's really good.
It's a
Yeah.
thing too, where like again, I obviously am clouded by nostalgia, and to
I
a
think
certain
your
extent,
nostalgia won out here.
I agree. But you know what I mean. It's like I think there's a little bit of that too. It's also something that. What is the expectation of a cider flavor wise, right? Because like I think Ray, you're making a great point, which is that when you see a cider, you do think of a lot of those other fall flavors that don't always show up. And like in my experience, I've never had any of those in a cider, which is why the Burnham was like a red flag. Now I've drank this a bunch here because I don't always want to spend $15 in shipping to have a brick of ice cider sent to my house.
Yeah.
But I do it a couple times a year, right? I've never noticed the cinnamon note until today.
Really?
So I'm like, we expanded my horizon, so I'm happy regardless.
So I drank them all in succession. I did yours, the Fowler, and the Burnham. Mm-hmm. When you do it all at once like that, you taste all the apple. The Burnham stands out because of the cinnamon. You can clearly taste it from the
And
other two.
I think it's just a personal preference thing for me at that point where I'm like, yeah. And I think in hindsight, I think I would probably rank the Burnham the best of the 3 in here.
In store, I would
In
go
store,
Burnham.
Burnham, yeah. None of the other ones were bad. But then otherwise, I think the thing is, I just needed confirmation bias. I'm still shipping this in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this to AJ. And be like, can we get this here?
Orders
So I don't
now
have to.
available.
You should.
C Mark.
They will ship as far west, I think, as Indiana, because like otherwise it won't hold up. But
of the 4, yours is the best. But
you don't have to say that. Still,
I agree.
I want you to be. I liked that you didn't like this as much.
When on the outside, yours I think is the best. But when we look at the store, I think Burnham is the best of the 3. The first one was too bland. The second one I think is a little too tart. Whereas I think the Burnham does both the sweet and the tart very, very well. And I think yours does the tartness the best.
It tastes the most like real apples to me. I
Yeah,
think is my
agreed.
one main
Yeah.
takeaway
Yeah.
more than.
How was your Franken apple?
It was a little 4-in-1, which is great. Somehow I tasted each of them individually still, which didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Maybe they are probably different densities. It's probably like layering a shot. We should have poured it over a
We should
spoon.
have. We should have. Yes.
I didn't even think about that. But it was good. I don't know.
Did the cinnamon still stand out even after you drank all 4 of them?
Yeah, but it was kind of like, so the Fowler that has like a weird aftertaste to me, it was like cinnamony dirt. And I was like, I'm going to pass on that.
I get that. It's really weird. The Fowler tasted so much different on the first pass.
It
Yeah.
did.
After trying the other ones, I was like,
Agreed.
this. You mentioned dirt to me. I was like, is that celery? But celery's kind of dirt flavored. It's like wet dirt and hair.
Yeah.
In a stalk. God, why do you guys like celery? Celery.
gross.
I like celery, to be
I know
clear.
somebody who peels their celery.
Celery is always better than
Oh, really?
celery.
Yeah,
They peel it?
peel it. So they'll cut it and then they like take a knife and then they like peel off the string. So then it's like de-stringed celery.
Okay.
So then what is it at that point? Just green?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, I'm in. I'm actually a little more curious about that.
That's too much time.
Well, what do you all say?
There you go.
Don't
What do
She's
you all say?
retired. She has nothing but time.
Oh, I love it. Well,
Yeah.
here's what I'm thinking. This obviously went well. What are we crowning the true victor today?
Yours, the delicious
Yours.
orchard.
You're going delicious orchards.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll take.
You were
I'll
not-
take it. I was right.
You were right,
that's all
Mark.
I
You were not
needed to
blown
hear.
smoke.
At Delicious Orchards, please sponsor the video.
Yeah, seriously.
Send
I
this
love
man
you.
some cider.
I tried to go see you when I was in New York recently, but you closed in a probably good time for you, but not for me making pee stops on a road trip and having to get there in 11 hours or less.
You just if you would have wore a diaper and committed.
You know, if I learned anything from the astronaut lady that wore the diaper to drive across country to stalk.
Forgot about that.
Remember that? Yeah. Then they made a movie out of it in 2019 with Natalie Portman.
What's it called?
Lucy in the Sky.
Okay, I'll have to
It's
look that up.
decent. It's fine. I love the guy that made it, but it was not his best work. Watch Fargo and Legion instead.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The shows. Not the movies, for both, actually. The Legion movie is not the same thing, and it's not good either. But anyway, that is a whole different story
Mark.
for another time. Great, so we're going Delicious Orchards and Winters. What I was
Yeah.
going to say is, what do you say we all come back in a couple of weeks and we do this for eggnog?
Yes.
Okay.
Ray, you passing on that one?
You don't
Let's
like
do
eggnog?
it.
Which version of eggnog? The alcoholic one or the non-alcoholic?
No, I was going to go to NA because you can
Yeah.
add alcohol to it.
Yeah.
But if there's an alcoholic one you want to try, we could throw it in the ring, you know?
Let's do it.
Oh,
I'll
really?
do it. I'll do it. I
tell them why.
am not a nog person. I think I
Well,
love
good for you to
eggs,
try, yeah.
but nog for me, I think is just
He loves eggs, but not the nog.
yeah.
No nog for Ray.
Someone
No Nog Jones over here.
someone once told me that when you look at eggnog, it looks like milk punch, and that was enough for me to go, I'm fine.
Milk punch sounds good.
Yeah.
In what world does milk punch sound good to you?
Sounds awesome. Okay, milk, a popular beverage.
And punch.
another popular beverage. Listen, everybody was mad when they started doing Pilk on the internet, but then I tried Pilk and I was like, oh, it's delicious.
What's
What's yeah.
Pepsi and milk.
Oh,
That's-
no.
Yeah.
No, absolutely
No.
not.
Wouldn't
Real
it like,
talk?
Wouldn't it like curdle the milk?
No, I honestly thought so as well. But then it was like, oh, and then everyone was like, oh, they used to do that on Laverne and Shirley. I was like, cool, I don't care about that. What I care about is the delicious and refreshing combo of
Was it
flavors.
good?
Yeah, I mean, imagine like a Coke float, right? Like that's the ballpark
Yeah.
flavor you're going for. So if you had like that's
I
really
like
it.
Coke floats, but
Yeah, it was great.
no.
It was. You know what was even worse? After that, once we found out that was good, I went through every soda I had in the fridge. We're like, mix it with milk.
You put milk in all of them?
Oh my gosh, you know what one was really good?
What?
Code Red Zero in milk went.
Oh, with the cherry.
Insane.
That has to be like a
Cherry
red
Coke was
cream
probably
soda.
good.
That's what
kind
I'm
of
saying.
vibe.
It honestly, and the thing is, like, you know, we were using like whole milk or something, so it like had that like fatty texture to it. It honestly, it was pretty amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not doing Pilk, but I'll do
No.
it.
Oh, I'm making everybody do Pilk next time. I'm gonna be like, try this eggnog. It's
So
weird
milk
that
and
it's
eggnog.
pink. Pepsi and eggnog.
Pog.
Yeah.
Remember Pogs?
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, I do remember.
You remember
Pogs.
those?
I am.
Oh,
I
had
kind of
so
kind of
many.
surprised he does. I
had
felt
so
like that was
many.
more class
Yeah,
of
that was more
83.
us. I
all
had so many
good.
slammers. They were great.
Oh
I
my
had a
gosh, I
book.
didn't have too many, but yeah, I didn't have a
did,
book. I had like
yeah.
the stack.
Yes.
It was like a giant film tube. Anyway,
It's a 90s reference that
Well,
half
Jana.
the crowd won't understand.
it's fine. They don't need to understand.
They don't.
They'll learn through us.
Yes.
Jana, thanks for
I'll
coming
Google
back.
it
Thank
later.
you. Thanks for having me.
Ray, welcome to the program. Oh, you've been on here once, but welcome back to the program, Ray.
Thanks, and thanks for the free drinks. I feel so much better now.
I
Yeah.
have to pee now.
Yeah,
I gotta
we
go.
do.
I gotta go.
We'll work on that later. Once I get the private bathroom installed down here. And last but not least, Belinda, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming in. And
All right, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad you did this. We got cheesecake on the horizon. We for real have the nog thing. We'll do a nog off. I have a few people requesting the nog off, so maybe what we'll do is have you all fight to the death in the parking lot.
Bring it on.
I'm down. Let's go.
See, my money's always on Belinda.
I'll lose because I don't like nog. You guys can fight over it all you want.
Ray's just gonna be in
No
the
nog,
corner
Ray.
nogging
Don't-
off.
No, no.
Oh my God.
Yeah, in his winter's cap.
Hey, gay.
That's awesome. All right, everyone. On that note, thanks for playing around here. Let's actually do something intelligent on the rest of this episode. I'm just kidding. We did something intelligent. We agreed with me. But let's learn about Vietnamese coffee, shall we? Sarah, welcome to the Jungle Gyms podcast. How's it going?
It's going great. Thanks for having me, Mark.
Of course, yeah, my pleasure. I've been trying not to make as many when puns as possible leading up to this, but I was like, if not now, then when? Anyway, I'm sorry.
That's the truth.
Off to a bad start. Yeah, exactly. I'm fired after this, actually, which would be really, this is my final interview.
I'm a pun person. I love all the puns, so keep them rolling.
Good. I'm glad. Already off to a good start. I'm so glad this is going well. Well, Sahra, tell me a little bit about the brand here. We'll just start. Explain it like I'm 5. Why are we on this call together?
Okay, so the brand is called Nguyen Coffee Supply. We are a Vietnamese coffee brand. We started in late 2018 with our packaged coffee beans as an importer and roaster. So we import all of the beans to direct trade relationships and roast in Brooklyn, New York. And last year we launched our ready-to-drink line in 3 different flavors. And our goal is really to share the bold flavors and energy of Vietnamese coffee with the world.
I love it. That's such a great thing. And I'm loving to see that that's getting used. You know, I always felt like I was part of a secret club ordering Vietnamese coffee when I go out for Vietnamese food, right? And now to see that there are RTD options, I mean, it makes sense in a place like Junglejims, of course.
Yeah.
But very, very excited that you're here. What were the 3 flavors that you launched?
The 3 flavors we launched are it's condensed milk, the classic traditional. We have classic black, which is like a straight black one, no dairy, no sugar, and our non-dairy option, which is coconut.
Oh, cool. It's an invisible can, too. It's actually incredible technology you've invented.
It's really 0 calories. Just kidding. It's 80 calories. It's coconut milk. It's made with coconut milk. And, you know, this is actually inspired. Like the condensed milk one is like the iconic traditional Vietnamese iced coffee. But in Vietnam, there is a coconut version as well. So, yeah, also traditionally inspired. And all 3 cans are made with Vietnamese Robusta beans and then canned in the United States.
That's so cool. And I see they're open. I was like, you've already been ripping through them today. I like your style. I think, again, well, we have a few things we'll connect on. I got a couple. I'm going deep towards the end of the video. But you talked about the beans. Talk to me a little bit about what makes your beans so special. I was reading on the site. They sound awesome. Yeah. Like my mouth's been watering for the last couple of hours waiting for this. I'm just like,
gosh. Yeah. Okay, so what makes Vietnamese coffee special? So first of all, Vietnam is the world's 2nd largest coffee producer, which is pretty phenomenal. And they're also the #1 producer of Robusta beans. Now, in the coffee world, there are 2 main coffee species, Arabica and Robusta. In the United States, a lot of people are very familiar with Arabica beans. It's kind of been like the cultural bean of choice for many, many decades. Sure. In Vietnam, their preference or their specialty is Robusta. What makes them different is Robusta beans have up to double the caffeine content of Arabica. So lots of energy, clean energy, a great boost. And Robusta beans also have 60% less fats and sugars than Arabica, which really shows up in the flavor profile. So we're going to get much more of a bold, rich, like smooth, dark chocolatey profile because of the low sugars versus like a fruit forward, citrus forward flavor profile.
Oh, cool. That sounds just as delicious as I anticipated.
Yeah, I mean, it's like whatever's for you, right? But like that's kind of like that's why we always say like Vietnamese coffee is like really known to be like one strong because of the caffeine content, but also like very bold and rich because of flavor profile.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. It's like that thing, and it's such a beautifully described way there too. But it's always that thing where I'm trying to tell my friends, I'm like, I don't know how to tell you it's better. It just is. You know, it's like, it's like the perfect cap. I get a little bun bo way, get a little, you know what I mean? I'm like, let's go.
Oh, so you're a Bumbo Way fan. I love that.
I need a little spice in my diet, you know?
So you kind of like, I'm learning like your layers. Cause like, I think most people like pho, banh mi, but you're like, you moved on to the other regions. Very impressive.
Listen, as soon as I have a friend who's her and her family own a Vietnamese restaurant here. So I've just been like, guide me through your culture by way of my mouth, you know?
I love that's really beautifully said, like engaging with culture through food and beverage. What a beautiful like access point.
I think that's how this show kind of came together, to be honest with you. That was like one of the things I pitched where I was like, you know, to me, and that's why I was so intrigued to talk to you. When Josh first got us connected, I was like, yeah, this sounds completely up my alley because I love the idea of amplifying international voices, again, exploring cultures. And to me, eating the food is probably the best way to do that, right? Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know, I have a good sense of adventure, so I'm always hoping to impart it on other people, even if I have to force it on them. I was like, you're going to enjoy this pho, okay? You know what I mean?
I mean,
icon.
It's a beautiful way to bring people together, right, over a meal. And then when you bring people together over a meal, then you can begin to have conversations, and through conversation, you build understanding. And like, that's the power of, you know, connecting with culture through food and beverage.
So well said. That's so brilliant. Well, I one of the things that was really intriguing to me about your brand too is that, I mean, like you said, launched in 2018, right? But you've had like insane growth in what to me feels like a very short amount of time, right? Is that not insane to say?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. So we started in like late 2018 as a direct to consumer brand, and we were strictly e-commerce for the first 4 or 5 years. And then like in 2023, just last year was like our breakout year into retail where we launched nationwide with Whole Foods. So around like 500 doors. And then now just like about a year and a half later, we're in close to 3,000 doors. Right. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's been a little while for us. It's been great. And it is in the retail sense, it has been like quite a rapid growth. But I really feel like we set a foundation for 5 years prior, right?
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
like that overnight success and nobody sees that took
I was
really
just
like
thinking about
years to accomplish. Yeah, it was like years of like building the brand online, educating people, like emailing buyers and getting no responses, right? And now it's like the perfect like convergence of time, opportunity, excitement.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, of course, congratulations. And we're very glad to have you here.
Yeah.
This is really fun to me. And I can tell it's going well because I went to get a can to drink with you today and it has already sold out on shelves as of today, which was really nice. I won't name a competitor who has not sold out next to you until the recording's done. But I was like, oh, that's pretty exciting. I know.
Wait, I need
it's
to
cool.
know. I always need, thank you so much. I always need to know, like, are we the same price? I'm always so curious because I think that's.
I actually think you're a little cheaper, but I'll have to double check afterwards.
Yeah.
I'll send that update in an email, or I'll put it at the beginning of the episode for everybody. But I want to say you beat them by maybe 20 cents if my memory is not a total mess.
Yeah.
So that was cool too.
Pricing strategy has been a real point of focus this past year for us.
It makes sense. You want to get as much product into as many people's hands as possible.
Exactly.
It's like everyone says, you're like, it's not about the first can. It's like cans 2, 3, and 4 that we're really concerned about, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's been a cool space because again, as a casual beverage enjoyer anyway, I'm just glad to see the space expand because it is that thing where having a to-go option to me is just, it's so clutch because I would love to drive 25 minutes to the best Vietnamese place I've been to, but that's not always in the card. Sometimes I just need to rip one out of the fridge at 3 a.m. as I'm eating my shredded cheese or whatever.
I love that. I love it. Yeah, and I love that you said that because in Vietnam people drink coffee around the clock.
I love it.
Even like in Europe, they drink it like after dinner, right? But in the U.S., culture hasn't really quite expanded. It's like kind of like associated with the morning thing, or like afternoon pick me up. So I love you drinking it at 3 a.m. Mark.
I'm in. I mean, it's one of those things I think about. So like I joke all the time on the show. Like a lot of my family is spread out like all over just other continents, right? So I joke that we're like the dumb American contingent, but there's just enough. Everyone else speaks multiple languages, and I'm like still struggling with English. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things too where I don't know. Again, I just keep getting stuck in how excited I am to have these options available to me in the first place. But it is funny when I think about the nighttime coffee thing that I'm like, for a culture like America that is so these days very like, you work all the time. All of us are secretly doctors now. Please answer your texts at all hours of the night. You'd think that there would be more open-mindedness when it came to late night coffee.
Yeah.
But
it's also like a good digestive as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Growing up, I remember watching my grandparents always have a little cup of coffee. Yeah. And by the way, both the American ones and like the international ones, both did it. And I was like, oh, is this just something that we lost to time? But I can't even think of a place where I could get a coffee after 5 p.m. now. That wasn't an accident.
Yeah, that's so true. Like, I love the social experience of like, because sometimes like after dinner, it's like, if you want to hang out with a friend, like what are your options? Like dinner or a bar, maybe a dessert spot. But like there isn't quite like a cultural experience in the US where it's like, let's go grab a cup of coffee if you don't want to drink, right?
Right.
Yeah. Maybe we'll bring that back.
Well, hey, maybe that's what the next interview shows up when you're opening, like, you know what I mean? Like late night coffee stands pop-ups. Maybe actually let me write this down because I feel like I should pitch you an idea in the future. Imagine a late night coffee pop-up featuring Lynn.
We are now we're accepting investors. Please reach out to Mark.
Funny enough, Mark Cuban just walked in.
No way! Tell him to hop on the call.
Yeah, come on, Mark, come here. Oh, he's really shy right now. I don't know why he won't talk.
I just watched his video where he's retiring from Shark Tank. It was really special.
Well, they'll need another mark to replace it. So hopefully
I think there should be this mark.
Why not? Yeah. And
Why
then they can
not?
call it the Mark Tank. I'm on board. Feed my ego however you can. You know,
I would watch that.
I probably would too, but I would lie and tell people I don't watch it. I don't want you to get the wrong idea about me. It's DVR'd, but I'm not caught up. I'm so sorry to derail. Well, this is what's fun about the show, right? I have a funny note for you. So I used to work for one of Google's partner companies, and you had shown up at some point in like some training thing or something. I swear today when I was looking and I was like double checking my notes, I'm like, I'm pretty sure this was a thing because I worked on the video side. So I was always doing that. And that was why I was like, you're the Deported lady, right? Like you made Deported, right?
Wait, I what?
You made Deported, right?
Yes, for NBC. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I've dabbled a little bit in film myself. So I was just like, it was that stupid thing where I was like, I swear I've seen her somewhere before. And as I dove into your history, I was like, okay, I think it had to be something on the Google side. And then when I remember when those series came out because NBC was pushing it online really hard when they were trying to do the whole amplify Asian voices thing.
Yeah.
So in thinking about this as somebody who's made a couple little shorts himself, what was the journey? Like, I'm sitting here going like, oh, cool. So you're obviously like creative. How did that journey go into launching this company?
Oh my gosh. I know. It's like, I completely stumbled into this company. Like this was not planned at all. Like the way I connect those two parts of my careers would be like, as a freelance journalist and filmmaker in New York, I spent a lot of time in coffee shops. Because our apartments are small. So you would just like stay in the coffee shop all day. And around 2016, I started noticing that Vietnamese iced coffee was becoming very trendy. Cool. Similar to when matcha and chai were becoming trendy on cafe menus, right? And then they exploded into their own subcategories. However, I noticed that a lot of these places were not using real Vietnamese coffee beans. They were just adding condensed milk to their house, whatever, and calling it Vietnamese iced coffee, which I found just really hypocritical because on one hand, they're like, we value transparency and this is a single origin bean from this country. And then all of a sudden it's like, this is an Ethiopian bean that we add condensed milk, but we're not going to call it Ethiopian bean, we'll call it Vietnamese coffee. Like it was inconsistent values, right? And so it kind of led me down this rabbit hole of like, well, why aren't they using Vietnamese coffee beans? And I would search the major like specialty roasters, like websites, like I couldn't find a single origin Vietnamese coffee bean on any of these websites. And then this whole light bulb moment became even brighter when I learned in my research that Vietnam is the second largest coffee producer in the world. And I was like, whoa, okay, light bulb moment. There's like this growing interest in this cultural experience, Vietnamese iced coffee. There's a massive source of it in the world, Vietnam. But yet there's like no like connecting point. There was like a void. And that was when I kind of started on this journey of like, well, I want to help bring Vietnamese coffee to America, not just because I think it's delicious, but I also felt like there was, a big injustice happening in the industry where Vietnam was really invisible in the conversation, right? For coffee, for specialty coffee, or just for the conversation of like, how do we elevate the livelihoods of these producers, right?
I love that.
And then from there, it's like a rabbit hole.
Oh, right. Exactly. And then 6 years later, here we are, right? You're like, I'm in thousands of stores now and people get to enjoy it. And it's really unique. Yeah, that's so cool.
Thank you.
I'm laughing about the transparency now because I love that. It's like we're incredibly transparent about that we're doing this kind of wrong.
Right, exactly. And then it's kind of like it raises all these other questions of like, well, who is deserving of these values of transparency? Who is deserving of these values of care and investment in quality production and farming and like education and all these things, right? Like Vietnam, and I get it. There are a lot of historical, social, economic forces in play that has pushed Vietnam over the last couple of decades and generations into like the conventional coffee market, right? And it's well known that Vietnamese coffee, Robusta coffee, is often used in instant coffee or like other conventional coffee products, which is fine. And we want to uplift like all coffee producers, not just specialty. However, that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be an opportunity for certain folks within the industry to improve their crop if they want to participate in the premium specialty markets, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's like so. I'm like, great, interview's done, nailed it.
Yeah. So for that, because when I first started, I was talking to a lot of these producers, and like a lot of the farmers I met were very passionate about organic practices, about improving the quality of crop because it was better for the land, it was better for their livelihoods. But what they were running into is at the end of their season, they could not find a buyer for their crop. So they would end up selling it to the conventional market anyway. So they were at a loss, right? So there's just no incentive, right, to kind of help propel them forward. So essentially, Vietnamese farmers, but then more largely Robusta growers worldwide, were pretty much pushed into a segment of the market that traps them in economic exploitation. Because the market was saying, if you grow Arabica, you have a chance to elevate your livelihood in pricing. If you grow Robusta, you can only be cheap. And that trickles down to communities, which ultimately affects their livelihoods. And so that was a really big part of our mission of wanting to uplift and elevate.
Yeah, that's incredible. And it's funny to me because, I mean, you know, I've done a decent amount of coffee episodes throughout my time here on the show and all of that stuff. And I've learned a lot, but it's funny to, you know, hear this from your, not funny, but like funny, odd to hear this from your perspective, because it's just interesting to me that like one type of bean just became like the world driver in a weird way. And it doesn't really make sense, because I feel like one of the things that at least I know I appreciate about coffee is that there are a lot of avenues to explore different flavors and tastes and things of that nature. So it's almost baffling to me that we would relegate like all of like 50% of the market to be like, this is powder and it's cheap. Yeah, that's crazy.
Mark, baffling. I didn't understand it because we don't have this type of framework in other products. Like, could you imagine if it was like, if we would live in a world that was like, red wine is superior, white wine is gross, do not drink white wine.
Yeah, exactly. I can't imagine it at all.
It makes sense.
Yeah. That's so weird. And I think you probably nailed it too with a lot of like the socioeconomic reasonings. I'm sure that ties into a lot of it. And just the way, unfortunately, the world has kind of grown up. I think I'll say it that way over the years. I think what's been nice for me on this show is that I get to meet people like you who are, I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like meeting the people that are making the changes like on the ground level to make the world understand it a much just nicer. And I don't know. I keep going back to how it's like, this is a great way to share in culture and to learn about things through trying these kinds of stuff. I don't know. I really, your story's cool and the product's great. So it's like, oh, this is awesome.
Well, we wouldn't be able to create this change and reach consumers without your support. So thank you for sharing your platform in store and online.
Of course, yeah. Well, when I get the replacement cans, it was funny. So when they first came in, I went and grabbed the condensed milk one, and I all but chugged it at my desk. I was like, "That's great," and then I was like, "Oh shit, I should have made a TikTok out of that." Like, you know. And then I was like, "Well, don't worry, we'll do it when she comes on the show. It'll be great. We'll put it in as part of the promo." And then today, right before this, I was like, "All right, let me go get a couple cans. I've got them here as well." And then I'm like, "Oh, it's sold out. Well, that's great news for her. Less good news for me." But, you know, I mean, I can at least say everyone I have tried it and it is wonderful. And it really has been a standout on show.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So thank you so much, Mark. We worked really hard on the formulation because, you know, it's like for us, it was striking that balance of like producing a product that we are proud of as a company, that I'm proud of as a Vietnamese American, but that would also be accessible and approachable to a wide audience, right? It's finding that balance between like putting forth a culturally rooted product, but also knowing that like you're not just creating it for yourself, you're creating for a lot of people. So I'm really happy to hear that you enjoy it.
Yeah, I really. I mean, again, I don't want to throw any shade at my friend's restaurant. I love your restaurant, but also I hate to be that guy, but I'm like, oh, great, I can stock up with this at the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I suppose I'd love to have them over. They could make it in house. But I was like, that feels weird, and I don't think I can afford your hourly.
There's kind of like a joke within within the Vietnamese community where it's like Vietnamese folks who are like born and raised in Vietnam, when they drink our coffee, if they don't like it, it's a good thing. Right? They're like, oh, because like I have folks tried to like, oh, it's too watery, it's not strong enough, it's not rich enough, it's like all these things. And I'm like, well, it's all context, right? In Vietnam, you got your coffee, like Starbucks didn't survive in Vietnam because a lot of reasons, but also because a lot of people are like, this is water. It's like too watery for us, you know?
Sure.
So it's really fascinating. So it's like, well, we're producing for like the mainstream, like American audience. So we don't want to like make it too strong that they can't drink it every day.
Right. I always joke. I was like, we can't alienate the whites. You know?
You can say that because
right, of course. I mean it with my whole chest, but also happy to cut it out if you'd like in the post. But no, I mean, it really is true. I mean, it's you know, we were talking about merchandising recently, and I just kept hitting this note of like, you always have to aim for the middle a little bit with this if you want it to be a huge success. So I think this is one of those things that again, I hate to just keep going back. I really liked it, but no, it's cool. And I mean, that's sort of the whole point here. Like, I love getting to explore these new brands, and hopefully I'll turn everybody on to something new and cool too.
Yay.
Speaking of new and cool, I always joke, is this my Jungle Gyms exclusive? Do you have anything on the horizon that we can get excited about too?
We do have something on the horizon, and it's coming next month.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so you'll get a sneak peek. I can actually share on this call, and you may publish this story, this video before we even announce it. But we are launching our RTD multi packs.
Oh, cool! So awesome. So it'll be like all the flavors in there.
Well, it'll be single SKUs first, so they're like
Okay.
4 cans per box.
Okay.
But yes, it's like a natural evolution for us as a brand where we start with a single serve, got some data, and now, you know, understanding how consumers shop in store. If it's not in the cold case, then like if it's gonna be the dry shelf, they want to kind of grab a pack and bring it home for the pantry. So yeah, we're excited. We're announcing that sometime in November, but you can share whatever.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
No, I can always put a big
Exclusive.
redacted up when it's like, oh my gosh, what's coming?
Yeah, no, it's fine. We can leak it. Yeah, multi-packs are coming. You heard it here
All the
first.
sorts of
on Jungle
Threads
Gyms.
is going to be on fire with this news. Do you have a favorite in the lineup that you find yourself going back to more often than not?
I do. So I know that like condensed milk is our best seller,
Mhm.
but my personal favorite is the coconut one.
I'm so curious to try that one. I haven't tried it yet.
Oh my God, you must. It's just like, and it's actually kind of like the underdog, because I think a lot of people have a perception around coconut flavored things, but
Sure.
we use coconut milk, and for some reason I think the coconut milk is like very harmonious with the bold Robusta bean, so it's just really like velvety and like a perfect balance. So this is my favorite one.
And I always feel like too, like coconut milk is nowhere near as potent in flavors. I think the consumer guesses at first, if that makes sense.
Oh my God, you nailed it. You're absolutely right. Because when we do demos, a lot of consumers are like, oh, I usually don't like coconut milk, but I like this because it's not that coconutty. It's
Right.
really not, yeah.
I think maybe this is an American audience thing too, right? Where I think so many of us are just like thinking of the smell of suntan lotion when we think on some bulk products, right? You know?
Yeah.
So I imagine that some people probably see coconut on a label and go, is it suntan lotion-ish? And I'm like, I would eat suntan lotion as well, but I prefer a more mild, easy drinking product, you know?
Mark, why do you think that is when like coconut water is such a massive category?
That's a great question. And it's funny that one took off. I wonder if it's just that, you know what I mean? Can I be, well, it's my show. I guess I can be mean. I don't think people read well. And I don't mean that like there probably is a problem that I host a grocery store podcast. I'm not the one to solve it. But I sometimes think that people just kind of glaze over certain parts of it. And I feel like the water probably stands out more to them. And I'm willing to bet that there's something about the connection of coconut and milk that triggers a certain visual and a certain thought. So I bet there's some contextual thing that, I don't know, there's some data farming company out there right now that's like, yeah, that's how we find out. That's always kind of been my thought, where it's like a combination of like maybe shelf overwhelm, I might call it, where people are just so used to being inundated with products across the board that they may tap out. But yeah, that's a great question about the coconut water space. But I also think that coconut water really leaned into, honestly, and I don't mean this negatively, but I feel like every time I see a coconut water packaging, it looks like a drink from 1995. Like it looks like it's whatever it is hit like that Nickelodeon nostalgia part of my brain where it's like there's like a splash of water on the cover. Someone's probably surfing in the back. It looks like a Capri Sun, but in a square box. And so maybe there's a little of that at play too. It's a great question. Do you have any thoughts on it?
No, I think you nailed it. I think the water registers like refreshment, hydration, and they can actually visualize it. Where, I mean, this is actually maybe a learning that we can take back to our packaging iteration, where it's like maybe coconut on the Vietnamese coffee can is not clear enough. Is it coconut oil? Is it coconut milk? Is it coconut water? So maybe they don't understand truly what it is. I mean, if you read the ingredient label, it'll say coconut milk, but like no one is turning that far oftentimes.
Yeah.
So
we're back to problem one, right? It's like nobody knows how to read.
maybe we should write
about literacy.
Maybe we should write coconut water. No, I'm just kidding. It just says it's coconut milk, it's coconut concentrate plus water.
See? Oh, we're back. It's very refreshing. I love it. Look, I think what we're learning is that we need to put a surfer on the can.
That ding ding ding, that is the solution. Thank you.
Yeah,
Mark.
oh my gosh. Can you imagine? You know what would be terrible though is what if that really was the solution? Like what if that was like someone's gonna come like, actually, it is something about the splash of water and the surfer on there that really just sets off middle America.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like refreshment and exercise. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my gosh. I love it. I meant to ask this earlier before I started making a bunch of jokes with you. But you do also sell your beans on your site as well. Like, because there's more products that we're just not even carrying yet.
This is
right?
true. Yes, yes. So we do sell our beans on our website. We also sell our beans in a couple of retailers around the country. But yeah,
Cool.
so we started with the beans. We started
Okay.
importing the beans, and I actually learned how to roast coffee in order to start this company because we were renting a roastery when we first started. So I developed all of our roast profiles. We have 3 medium roasts, 3 dark roasts, and they're across Robusta beans, Arabica beans, and then blends.
Oh, that's so cool. So I'll have to check that out too. Now I'm intrigued. I'm like, oh, I might try to make this at home. And after I've talked the whole show about like, I like it easy. I don't want to do the work. Now I'm like, I will maybe do some of the work.
Yeah. You know what? We also sell like the traditional brew tools, being filtered on our website. Yeah, we sell them on our website. We'll send you a package after this call, but I think that would be a fun like holiday gifting vibe too, Mark.
Oh, I mean, listen, I'm just here to make friendships, ultimately. The secret is I'm like, yeah, talk about your product. I just want to be friends after this. I love that idea. And, I know we have our Asian category in general is a very strong section of the store anyway. Mm-hmm. I'll be curious to see now, and I've never looked. So once I learn about yours, I'll be curious to see if we have anything similar here too. Because that might be another fun win for us.
Yeah. I see what you did there.
Yeah. I'm like, they're so bad. And they keep accidentally coming out. And as soon as I say it, I'm like, oh, that was stupid.
No, we love a win. We love a good win. Who doesn't love a win?
That's so cool. Oh my gosh. You have been an absolute delight today. I knew this was going to be fun, but I was like, oh, she's even more fun than I thought she was going to be. So
I love it. Well, just one can of one cough supply would get you this fun and give you this energy. Well, Mark, I want to say thank you for being so funny because I feel like I laugh so much. This is like my workout for the day.
Awesome. Hey, you're welcome. It's a great ab program I'm starting. Exactly. It's not working on me, but it works well on everyone else.
It's because you're the one telling the jokes. You're doing us a service for help making us laugh so much. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate your time today, Sarah. Thank you so much. Well, looking forward to bringing everything back in. Can't wait to see. Very excited for the multi-packs. That'll be a great thing too. And of course, congratulations on all your success. Yeah, what a cool story and what a cool brand and what a cool person.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for all your support. Shout out to the junglejims team. We love you all. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Hey, that was great, right? Thanks so much for your time, Sarah. Also, why is everyone are you guys still drinking cider?
Yeah.
No, I'm enjoying the generic wheat thins you can get at Junglejims in our American grocery section. You're welcome, everybody.
He won't let us leave. He makes us drink the cider.
I'm telling everyone they live here. Well, no, all kidding aside, Sarah, thank you so much for your time. It's really great. I can't wait to get more of that. And I'm excited to play around with the kit, too. I've got a kit coming in where I can make coffee the true Vietnamese way with the beans that we talked about in the episode that you all haven't seen yet because you're part of this episode. That's so weird.
I know.
Weird.
Where is it?
What beans?
That's a great question, Ray. You can download it on any of the major audio streaming platforms where you get your podcasts or watch along on YouTube like I politely ask every week. Well, folks, on that note, I think it's time we wrap this baby up. I appreciate your support on the show. Thanks to everyone that came out here to try cider and then stayed, or rather overstayed their welcome. And more importantly...
I am a paying customer. Thank you very much. Okay.
I think you spelled that wrong. It's PAIN, pain customer.
You're holding it together very well. I'm proud of you. I'm not.
All right, we got to get out of here for real. We got to drink. I'm making them drink all this cider as soon as the camera's off. So in the meantime, you can catch me out there in the aisles.
The Junglejims podcast is recorded in the WJJI studio inside Junglejims International Market in Fairfield, Ohio. The Junglejims podcast is produced and hosted by Mark Borison.